Hello, club class. Happy to have you aboard, friend. Um, Hope your rest is superb. I'm doing a little bit of scenery development in Louisiana, and I didn't exactly have my microphone turned off. I was just muted, but I was kind of just waiting for somebody to say hi. So, hi. Hoping you are very well, friend. Just doing like about half an hour or so of streaming, maybe 45 minutes. It's gonna be a short session, but um, didn't feel like streaming at first, and then I was just like, you know what, do it for half an hour, and that's basically it. It's basically just the thing. Like, I want to be committed to doing something like this at least once a weeknight. And then when it's done, I can say all those nights when I didn't feel like doing it, I jumped in, did a half an hour's worth of work, and it just kept adding up. And that's kind of it. It's kind of odd where I'm almost halfway done with this week already, and it's just like my weeks go by so fast. Make all the noise you want, you're okay. Anybody ever eaten sun chips? The bags are so noisy, but they used to be even louder. Sun chips are definitely not the kind of snack food you want to eat when you want to be stealthy, or as they say, inconspicuous, because they're just loud. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that she feels very, very well very soon. God bless you both. I I mean, like, I'm not immune to stuff like that, but it's I think it's been a while since I've done that, and I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to speculate on what might or what might not help. I just hope and pray in Jesus' name that your wife feels a lot better soon. And this is a really, really weird kind of thing here. It's almost like there's a merge of a vehicle road and taxiway, and it just kind of took a bite out of the tarmac. So strange. But such is life. Absolutely, Club Class. You are a friend. You're a friend of the channel. You are my friend, and I sincerely hope and pray that she feels very well soon. It's no fun. I mean, it's I don't think it's fun being sick at all. I do think that sometimes you get, fringe benefits that come from it. I mean, like as a kid, if you were legitimately sick and it wasn't that bad of a deal, you got a day off from school. At least my generation did. Um, if if it was a really crummy sick, then you know it wasn't fun. But I remember, my parents or the siblings were looking on me, so it's a thing. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope she feels even better. For uh well, I mean, okay. I'm a bit of a knucklehead when it comes to being sick. I don't get sick very often, So when I get sick, I kind of feel it. I genuinely try not to, ham it up, but I think all of us are prone to bouts of going, "Oh, honey, can you just like get this for me, please? Because I don't feel like moving." Like, I mean, I think I've been that way before, where if I haven't, it's been a while since I've been like laid up. So I get it. Isn't like I don't get it, but yeah, I understand. I'm happy to, get through a day of work, wrap up, clean up, maybe do a workout, help make dinner, clean up, take care of the pets, and sit down and do some scenery dev, which is essentially what I'm doing right now. So you see. But welcome in, everybody. I am, of course, your host, DIGI Driver. I am a flight simulator enthusiast, fellow flight sim pilot, and occasional flight sim streamer. More often than not these days, I do scenery development in Microsoft Flight Sim, like you see me doing right now. I am working on Lafayette Regional Paul Fournier Field, and this is a regional airport in Louisiana, of all places. Yes, that is also an American term. Man flu has been popularized quite extensively in the States. Now, it might mean different things to different people. I just know that, for example, you know, the kind of lore behind man flu is, you know, like we don't some men don't tend to get very sick very often. So, like you said, when they get a cold or a flu, they're like out. It's like they're not moving. That is to say, they don't want to go anywhere. Let's see. Well, doing the best I can with these lines, so we'll see. Honestly, I don't want to think too hard about them either. So yeah, probably a shorter stream than usual tonight, but I wanted to give it at least a legitimate effort to at least say I showed up, right? And I think that's going to be my motto for the rest of the year. You don't have to do the entire thing right now. And that's going to be how I'm going to chip away at my projects and my learning and my resting. Well, resting? Well, sleep for more than a few hours at a time. That's the goal. Fortunately, I'm grateful to be able to say that I don't have issues falling asleep. I have issues giving myself enough time to sleep. But that's more of a self-inflicted injury, so yeah, there's that. Hmm? Oh, okay. They stepped out. Sounds like my pets are off on adventures right now, which is cool. So, I think I picked like the second largest expanse of taxiways to model, and this is just the base layer. So, essentially, once I get this taxiway apron segment modeled, like 75 to 90% of the ground texturing will be done for this place. Well, I mean, the aprons, the places where you're going to be driving over, piloting an aircraft over, stuff like that. Let me also increase the volume of it, just so you guys have some more ASMR, so to speak. Again, my lines are not perfect. I'm just not going to care about perfection. I can't, and honestly, these lines aren't going to be. Because in one sense, you're going to get dirt coming onto the taxiway, you're going to get undergrowth kind of like chipping away at the outer edges of the asphalt surface. You're going to get pieces that kind of fall off. At least I'd imagine you would. So, yeah. This is the new way of the flight sim scenery developer. Move well, make scenery, learn as you go. Not decide what you want to do, make a plan, make documents, draw up everything that you need, contemplate how you're going to design the airport, study other developers. Don't do that, because then you're going to be stuck in analysis mode and you're never going to move forward. And believe me, I know. So definitely not something you want to catch yourself doing on a repeated basis. Just do. Just go for it. And maybe someday the crazy project that you thought you weren't going to be able to do is the same one you actually pull off. And if for some crazy, just kind of off the wall reason you are in Florida right now and you're chilling and you by some chance have tuned into this channel to watch a random flight sim guy stream scenery development, something which could potentially be right up there with watching grass grow or paint dry, I just want to tell you, you are loved and you are being prayed for right now. And I pray that the state of Florida withstands the pending weather events that are coming. So, God bless you. God bless America. And watch over us all, Lord God, in Jesus' name. It is a yeah, like you reminded me of something. It's so unbelievable sometimes how you can just be here 1 minute and gone the next. And I'm not just I'm trying to be morbid. I'm just saying, like you mentioned, you could be fit as a fiddle, and then you have something and your body says nope, and that's it, you're done. So, like, that's what I try to appreciate people and try to do as much as I can, because it's not even about leaving a legacy. I just want to, if there's anyone that actually has the crazy idea of looking up to me for some strange reason, I don't want to let them down. I want to be the kind of person that lives a life worthy of the praise of Yahweh Elohim. And for some people, that's not their bag, and that's okay. Like I said, I never want to force my Christianity down anyone's throat. You're always welcome here, and that's regardless of who you are, what you believe. I want you to feel welcome and comfy. Now, if you want to be, jerky and standoffish and rude and, do toxic stuff on the channel, there's a place called The Door that you might wind up at. But I try to extend empathy and love towards people. And especially in times like these, man, I want, I hope that people are either prepared or at least getting out of harm's way. And I hope that things pan out for all those folks affected soon. Hey, Airwalker GT, welcome aboard, buddy. I am continuing to lay down some asphalt aprons for Lafayette. At this rate, I'm hoping to be able to get done with this stuff, the base level, pretty soon. Because what I might decide to do once I lay down the base level is I might move right on to putting down some basic structures, like using the built-in FS 2020 library to do things like laying down basic fencing and maybe even building the kind of three-dimensional things that you run off on if you overrun the runway. Like a cross between, I guess, I don't know, sand and cardboard, where if a jet lands but can't stop in time and they overrun, I'm guessing that's kind of like the runaway truck ramps on a highway when trucks are going downhill. But yeah, do my best to get this, get the apron textures loaded, and then we can move on to quite literally bigger things. Or stranger things. And good, good, there we go. These things look good. I very much am looking forward to getting my hands on FS 2024 so I can do scenery development for that. And I'm talking about making like a day one scenery development stream once it actually, gets released and people can actually use it. I'm not going to focus on, excuse me, I'm not going to focus on, being the first to use it on day one. If I can use it day one, great. If I have to wait a day or two, that's fine as well. But I think the first experience that I'm going to have with the sim, as much as I can, is probably going to be designing an airport with it. And like I said before, I don't care if it's the most basic airstrip in the country, and it might not even be in the US, I might even make it somewhere else in the world. But the idea is I want to be able to create something on day one to be able to, say, for example, have a copy of it where I can put it so people can download it, or I can put it on flightsim.to or put it somewhere else, and then be able to just move on and move into the resources and the capabilities that the new sim offers. Am I going to stop making scenery for FS 2020 at that point? I have at least one, maybe two other projects that I think I'm going to want to release for FS 2020. One of them being Plymouth Municipal Airport. So I want to finish that project, at least get it to the point where I can release it, and then I can move on from there to maybe choosing one or two other projects at that point, and then deciding when I want to start focusing more and more on FS 2024. Although I don't know if people are going to buy FS 2024 at this point or just stay on FS 2020 for a little bit, because I know there were some growing pains with FS 2020, but I mean, given the fact that it was the first major release of a flight sim in a long time, it's a thing. It's a thing, man. It's I I believe in Almighty God, Yahweh Elohim, the creator of the universe, who sent Jesus to die for my sins on a cross. And I'm with you. It's scarier for me to think of a universe where he doesn't exist than for me to think of a universe where he does. And I've come to understand, like a friend of mine mentioned on their own stream, I've come to understand it is not my job to convert people to what I believe. It is my job to present my case for my life as a witness to the power and the saving grace and transformative ability of God through Jesus Christ. And I want people to make up their own minds about what it is that they want to believe. It's my hope that they choose Christianity, but at the same time, that's got to be a choice they're okay dealing with, living with, etc. I mean, like, I'm down with having chats on Discord about stuff like that and having open discussion. Because now that I understand that I don't have to convert anybody, I just have to present my case and let people understand, hey, like, you're going to make your own choice about life. Then, I'm open to it. I'm open to discussion. But there's certain whatchamacallit, there's certain forums and places where I like to engage in discussion on a more person-to-person basis. But I'm not gonna back away from what I believe as a Christian. I just want people to understand I'm never going to force you to believe what I believe, and I want to show courtesy, respect, love, compassion to you, regardless of what you think of me. And start from there. If anything, start from a place of love, and then move in and get to know people. And if you don't want to get to know me, that's fine. It's fine. Yes, Clubgrass. Um, design, design demands a designer. So yes, you are correct. And also, as far as I know, Microsoft have dropped pricing. I only know the prices for the Microsoft Store versions of FS 2024 off the top of my head, but I think the standard version is about $70 US. And I think I don't know what the pricing is for the premium version. I want to say it's like 119 something. And the premium deluxe version is like 139 something. But then on a different level is the Aviator version, which costs about between $219 to maybe $229, probably $219 and change. And that will give you every single custom handcrafted airport, every single airplane, every single Asobo payware release, and some extra swag. I think, like, I don't know if it's a printed manual or just a collector's case. And I think you get physical media as well. I mean, I certainly hope you do. And also, I think a few other trinkets as well. Model, probably a die-cast model of the Antonov AN-225, I want to say, and either a duffel bag or some kind of a bag or a messenger bag or something. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's a book bag, but there are some things you get. Wouldn't that be nice, Airwalker? If you open up your Aviator edition and they give you like a recognized coupon to a Discovery flight of your choice, because that would be dope. I remember when I did my first flight in a general aviation aircraft, and I got to tell you, that kind of ruined me for flight sim. And you might say, but DIGI, you're still playing flight sim. Oh, I know, I get it. I enjoy flight sim a lot. But I know for a fact there is a galaxy of difference between flying even, a GA plane or a business jet or an airliner and actually being in one and experiencing the kinetic forces of flight and understanding, for example, if you take a discovery flight or a lesson, you have an aircraft in your hands. You are literally hurtling through the sky at double, triple digit speeds, and you I remember the first time I flew an aircraft by my like not by myself. The first time I flew an aircraft with an instructor, I had this death grip on the yoke. Like I wasn't absolutely petrified, but I was like I was like waddling like a duck, all calm on the surface. My heart was beating furiously. Hmm? Well, got one right here. I think that's me. So, but yeah, I mean, the first flight I took, I haven't been able to afford another flight since, but the first flight I took off and it was just unbelievable. And as I climbed to like 2,000 feet and I understood that, okay, I'm, I'm in a, I'm in a device with wings that's this metal, kind of quasi metal tub hurtling through the sky. And my brain was like, dude, you're in a situation. And it was fine. The CFI was definitely taking care of me, all this stuff. So it was okay, but man, my knuckles must have looked white. I think as eventually as we kept flying, I started, relaxing my grip on the controls. But the first time that I actually experienced that, it was just beyond. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just beyond. And that's just it. Like, I can't even imagine. Say, for example, I wound up getting a better job, if Yahweh permits, and I was able to actually afford and commit to a certain amount of time, each week, each month, to studying and getting my private pilot's license. Then in theory, I could apply for a light sport license. And that would be just about the fastest way to getting to a place where I could fly an aircraft pretty much almost anywhere in the country. Of course, respecting things like, other traffic, Class Charlie, Class Bravo airspaces, and just making sure that I don't get myself in trouble by being a stupid idiot. But, you can fly to like, general aviation airports and places where you 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 would take more time getting to by car. Mrs. DG and I have talked about that before. A long time ago, it was like, well, like it's a scary place up there. But then after I had my first flight, um, which, spoiler alert, I enjoyed, but my stomach didn't. But the first time I came back from that, after a while, the we had a conversation. She was like, "Listen, like, if that's where you want to go, and you have the money to do it, go do it." Like, you know, we had the discussion, and she's like, "You don't want to become an airline pilot, Kirkapava." I'm like, no, no, that's not happening. It, I am no longer at a place where making a career switch to, uh, 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 like, passenger piloting or cargo work or being a corporate pilot and being like on call to fly people around. That's not a thing. That's not happening. If anything, if it got to the point where I was able to, um, really take care of my family and get to a place where I could fly them around, then that would be the impetus for me to do even more. Like, get, the absolute minimum for me would be getting a private pilot's license, getting a night license, and getting instrument rated, if I can. And then moving on from there, if I got to the place where I wanted to do even more and I had the ability to do more, then I would probably be able to um, go for multi-engine certification, go for, you know, uh, uh, some other certifications that go between that and being type rated in a jet, and then we'll see where we are. But I mean, admittedly, number one, that costs a lot of money, and number two, that costs a lot of money. So it's something that I would seriously consider and enjoy doing, but it's also something that doesn't come cheap and does not come easy. So let me think. What did I just do? I did Bravo, Juliet, and Lima. Okay, there we go. So that's going to be 2-2 right, 2-2 left, and then 11-29 taxiway, Bravo, Juliet, Lima. There we go. That's fantastic, by the way. Mrs. DG and I have been on many cruise ship runs in the past several years, and we enjoy cruising. She liked it more than I did at first, and I think I kind of caught up to her over time. Last year we went to Alaska, and it was unreal. But the best part of the trip wasn't even being on the cruise ship; it was being on land. So we did a whole, land and sea tour, and it was unbelievable. But yeah, flying a plane, I think flying a plane would be squarely something which would be a personal pursuit. And, hey, it would be something that I would do for kicks, for transportation, for getting around. It would not be something that I would do for the sake of trying to make a living out of it, unless I knew for a fact that software development as an industry was absolutely imploding and I had to get out. Oh wow. Then you would be in good company. Mrs. DG never got to the point where she was doing professional stuff on a horse, but she actually did spend time doing equestrian things and riding horses and jumping horses as well. So I mean, I've ridden on a horse as a kid, but I never actually, like had a horse, like, on a ranch, probably like some other folks did, and, like did the cowboy thing, but that would be, that would be interesting. Club class, I will say this. I will say that being on a cruise ship at first is probably one of the most interesting and weird things you'll probably ever do in your life. If you when you come back from the cruise ship vacation, you might still feel like you're on a boat for the next few days. I know when I came back from Alaska, I felt borked for about a solid week and a half, but that was because let's see, I traveled four time zones, and I spent a week in Alaska, and then I spent a week on a ship cruising back down. So, you try to reset your brain after you do something like that, you're you're gonna have a hard time. But cruising is unbelievable, and the fact that you're on a cruise ship and you have access to, entertainment, food, relaxation, everything just kind of comes at you, and you can take your time, or you can take it all in, or you can take it on a schedule. And for me, it was a great experience. Oh, that's great, Airwalker. That's dope. I have respect for folks that can pilot ships. I like piloting planes, but there was a time when I had a demo of a computer game where you could actually pilot a sailing ship, like one of those sailboats, the ones that like are like long and skinny, and sometimes have the things on the side that help kind of keep them planted, and they have the big sails. But that's an interesting thing that I haven't explored yet. Let's see. So what is up right now? Okay, so let me think. It's been about 40 minutes. I think now that we have this major taxiway just basically painted in, what I might do is eventually I'm going to come back down to creating these roadways for vehicular traffic, if you actually want to do that kind of thing, and eventually adding things in on top of also creating what am I trying to say? Um, Fencing and whatnot. You might not need to put up fence everywhere because other than the natural barriers that are present here, the natural barriers that are present with the river, I'm probably going to add a little bit of fence on the western side and on this side by the, I guess not the quarry, but the road and this area. And then I might finish adding in this section here in these buildings, and that's going to be when I start working on custom buildings and seeing what actually shapes up. I'm probably going to go ahead and call it a night here and just rest and have some fun playing some games, and we'll see what happens. But I'm 2 for 2 so far this week, and I think what I want to do next is maybe make Wednesday a quiet stream and then potentially make talkie streams on Thursday and Friday. I read your last couple comments, club class. Um, I mean, the furthest out that I've been is Alaska, and I gotta tell you, being in Alaska for a week, just the vistas and the absolute experience of being in that place just absolutely changed my perspective on travel. Mrs. Digi and I want to go back to Alaska so bad, so bad. I've even debated the idea of moving there. Cost of living is, expensive, but just the experience. I mean, Alaska has, I think, the most number of pilot licenses per capita, so you'd be in good company if you want to become a pilot. You kind of have to be. So it's a thing. But yeah, club class, thank you so much for stopping in tonight. And thank you to everyone that said hi and to everyone that lurked. Don't feel bad. You're raising the algorithm for my channel, so thank you for that. Stay tuned. I'm going to keep working on this airport and keep chipping away at it piece by piece, day by day, week by week, and hopefully in a very short time, we're going to have all the things that we need to actually release this on flightsim.to or some other platform ahead of the FS 2024 release. And then I might come back to pretty much this and other airports that I've meant to do for a long time and start incorporating them into the new sim. Of course, I don't know how the graphics are going to look in total in FS 2024, so there might be some things that I do, there might be some things that I don't do, but I can pretty much guarantee you this. Unless they handcrafted over like 10,000 airports in the States and around the world, I think it's like 80,000 airports worldwide. Unless they handcrafted every one of them, there's still going to be people that are going to make custom airports in FS 2024, and I hope to be one of them. Alaska is the last frontier, that's for sure. Friends, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. Stay tuned and just watch out for me on Discord. I'll keep you guys updated on status, just stuff going on in life, and I will continue to chip away at this. If I do continue this consistently, it'll be the first time I've done that since literally Plymouth Municipal Airport and Whiskey 904 Airport, which is still selling on Sim Market right now. But I probably have to go check it out at some point and double check to make sure my stuff is good. But one step at a time. Guys, really appreciate you guys stopping in. And of course, as always, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that is Jesus Christ. Let me go ahead and check the channels and see who's actually streaming right now that I could probably say hi to real fast and spread the love, especially if you guys want to see more Flight Sim content, which I'm assuming you do. So let me go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Sim Caesar has been on for a while. I'm not sure if he's still going to be on for a bit, if he's going to sign off. Cross Hyperu is doing flights, probably VATSIM, IFR stuff. Stu is doing GA flying. And my friend Tabletop Android is streaming. Let's go ahead and say hi to Tabletop Android and raid. And Tabletop Android, if you see this, we're coming. So, folks, if you have the emotes, spam DigiFam emotes on your way in, and let's give them some love. Take care, friends. Until next time.